What's going on YouTube? In today's video we're going to do Leetcode problem 2833 and it's titled the furthest point from an origin. And you are given a string moves of length n consisting only of characters L and R and an underscore dash. And the string represents your movement on a number line starting at origin 0. And in the ith move you can choose one of the following directions. So you can move to the left if moves at I equals L, or moves at I equals the underscore dash. And you can move to the right if moves at I equals R, or again if the moves at I equals an underscore dash. So really the only decision we can make is if our current character in our string moves is equal to an underscore dash. And at that point we can decide to either go left or right. And what we want to do is return the distance from the origin of the furthest point you can get to after n moves. And in our example input 1, we have moves equals L underscore dash R, L underscore dash, and R. And the output is 3. And what's important to note, in the explanation, the furthest point we can reach from origin 0 is point -3. And that's through the following sequence of moves. So you can see that they turned the dashes into all left moves. And they ended up with the point being -3, but you see the output is 3. So we're not concerned with returning a negative number if we do move left from our origin. We just want to return the positive number of how many moves we are from our point of origin, which is 0. Alright, so in the IDE, I've just copied over the code here, and down here in the main method, I am just plugging in this method and copying in the string from input example 1, and then I'm simply going to system.out.println the result. And so the first thing that I want to do in this problem is I want to create a variable to track our point from origin. And I'm going to set this equal to 0, and this is going to represent the origin of our point. And then as some boilerplate code, I'm going to return the point from origin. And the next thing that I want to do is convert our string moves into a char array. And the last thing that I want to do is keep track of our underscore dash counts. And so we'll create a variable for this, and I'm just going to call it dash counts. And we'll set that equal to 0. So the way that I'm going to approach this is I want to loop through our char array, which is going to represent every character in our string moves. And based off of the character that we're currently at in our char array, we want to determine if we're going to decrement or increment our point from the origin. Essentially, decrementing means so we're moving left from our point of origin, and increment, of course, means we're moving right from our point of origin. And if we're not doing either, then we are going to increment our dash count, because that means that our current character that we're at is a dash. So I'm going to do a traditional for loop, and then I'm going to do 3 condition checks. So again, the first condition check, I'm going to see if our current character C equals the character uppercase L, and if it does, then we want to decrement our point from the origin. And then in the next condition check, if our C is equal to uppercase character R, then we want to do the opposite and increment our point from origin. And then lastly, in our else clause, it means that we must be at a character that is a dash, so we'll just simply increment our dash count. Okay, so what we've done is we looped through every character in the array, and we've moved our point of origin based off of whether or not that character is an uppercase L or an uppercase R. And what we've also done is we kept track of how many dashes occur within our string moves. And what we have left to do is to determine the furthest point away from origin possible in the moves that we can make. And currently our point from origin is going to be sitting at either left of 0, which is a negative number, or it's going to be a positive number, which is right of 0, depending on within our string move if we had more characters L or more characters R. If we had more L characters, then of course it would be, the point of origin currently would be a negative number. And if we have more R's, then it would be a positive number greater than 0. And if there's an equal number, then we would be sitting at 0 still. So we really only have 2 condition checks to do from this point on, and they're both going to depend on where our point from origin currently sits. So if our point from origin is less than 0, then that means that there were more uppercase L's in our string moves. And what we want to do now is take our points from origin and minus equals all of our dash counts to that number. And then of course the other condition would be if we had more uppercase R's in our string moves, then what we want to do there is just take our points from origin and plus equal our dash count. Okay, and remember the last thing that we want to do is we're only concerned with returning a positive number. If we do have more L's and the furthest point origin is a negative number, we want to change that to be a positive number. We just want to know the total number of moves from our point of origin that our point is currently at. And to make sure that we are going to return a positive number, we are going to just call math.abs and pass in our point from origin. Okay, so this should be it, and then we have here our input from example 1. Let me switch over to that, and we should get a -3, but our output, again, we want to return the positive value of that, and our output should be 3. So let's run this and see if we get that result. And we do get 3.